What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast, back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Dustin on the show. What's up, Dustin?
What's up, man? Getting closer to some football.
Yeah, man. All the teams are in training camp now. It's starting to heat up. There's a lot of buzz, a lot of action, a lot of stuff, I can't wait for the season. I can't wait for the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, this Thursday.
Yeah. So, this is the Cleveland Browns season preview episode, 2022 Cleveland Browns. A lot to talk about on this episode. Let's start with the news that came out today, Dustin. Deshaun Watson, we finally got the news. He's going to be facing a 6-game suspension. The NFL could, try to extend it or whatever. We'll see. But as of right now, 6 games. What do you think about that length of suspension and for the Browns this season? Is that something you think they can overcome?
Well, first of all, for the suspension, I thought that's what it was going to be, between 4 and 6, in my opinion, or 6 and 8.
Yeah.
To overcome it, their schedule's pretty rough.
Yeah, so you got Jacoby Brissett, who can fill in as the starter.
Jacoby is good enough to win you a couple games. I don't know about the first 6, looking at the schedule, because there's going to be, a lot of tough teams that you're facing besides, a couple on there.
Yeah, so you start the year at Carolina. Then you home to the Jets, home to the Steelers, at the Falcons, home to the Chargers, home to the Patriots. If you go 2-4, you're in a good spot. 2-4, I think, is best case scenario. I don't think they're going 3-3 with Jacoby Brissett.
No, 2-4. I think Jacoby's good enough to get you those. And even then, do not put much pressure on Jacoby. Use your tailbacks.
Yeah.
You have the two best running back tandem in the NFL.
Not to mention, so you got, of course, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. You also have D'Ernest Johnson, who is pretty solid. And then rookie Jerome Ford, 5th-round pick.
I like Jerome Ford out of Cincinnati.
Yeah, so they got some options, but we all know it's about Chubb and Hunt. They're going to be the workhorses. Now, go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing is, you don't want to put everything on Jacoby. So if you can get a good run game and, your defense helps him out and plays well, he might be able to get 3.
This would be my mindset. I would do that, exactly. Come out, establish the run game, and play defense early in the season. Then when you get Deshaun Watson back, still try to play that run and defense, and then have Watson's talent added to that. You might take off second half of the season.
Absolutely.
Go on a streak or something. A lot of people are upset about the length, People are complaining, saying, oh, it should have been a year, blah, blah, blah. The multiple grand juries didn't give him any criminal charges. I think between 4 to 8 game suspension is right. I think that's the going. When there's no criminal charges, it doesn't seem to go more than 8.
Well, yeah, I mean, right now, if it's only a civil thing, it's just hearsay at the moment, because I have faith in the system that if they were really wanting... If they really believed he did what he did, they would have charged him.
There was enough evidence,
yes,
he would be charged.
Yes.
And there isn't. It's hearsay.
Yep.
So that's why you can't go, full all the way into it. So bottom line is that I take away from this whole situation is I'm much less concerned about the off the field stuff. When I look at this, I look at it on the field. How does it affect the team throughout the season? Adding Deshaun Watson to the Browns is instantly, take the off the field stuff away, is instantly the best quarterback they've ever had. Do you agree with that?
For sure.
So this is a huge get for the Browns.
I mean, any team right now that's not the Packers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or, let's say...
The Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs, the Chargers, Raiders, all of them. Besides all of them, any other team in the league would take Deshaun Watson right now.
Yeah. And so, I mean... So you take the 6-game suspension, that came with it, you acknowledge it, it is what it is, and then you get ready, you build your team so it's ready to compete the second half of the season.
So, I wasn't sure about this, but I wanted to ask you, when you're suspended, can you practice or no?
I believe so. I'm not sure. I think so. I don't know.
Okay, because it's still building that chemistry in practice is huge to me.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, chemistry with the teammates.
Yeah.
He's gonna be at least working out and in game shape, ready to go. I think he can practice. I'm not sure though. So Jacoby Brissett is a solid backup. That'll help. They also have Josh Dobbs from the Steelers, third string, and Josh Rosen. What do you think of the two Joshes, backup quarterbacks there in Cleveland?
Yeah, I mean, Josh.
Do you think both of these guys make the team? I don't. I think one of them gets cut.
Yeah, and I think it's going to end up being Josh Rosen.
Me too.
Just because he hasn't had very good,
There's a lot of people that have been saying for years that Josh Rosen never got a fair deal in the NFL. He's always had multiple coordinators, multiple teams, never could get a true shot at being a starter. Do you agree with that?
In a way, I mean, didn't he only really start for one season or maybe even half a season?
Yes, in Arizona. And then they instantly took Kyler Murray.
Yeah, and there's guys that are I think playing who don't deserve to be in the starting lineups right now that are competing for starting quarterback jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you continue to give Daniel Jones a shot, if you continue to give Sam Darnold a shot, why not give Josh Rosen a shot?
Yep. I'm glad you kept Trubisky out of your mouth there. I would have had to get upset at you.
No, Trubisky's going to be very successful, I think.
I like him in Pittsburgh, but the Browns fans don't want to hear that. So that's the quarterback situation. Like I said, I think Jacoby Brissett will do enough to keep him afloat. What if they're 1-5 or 0-6?
Ooh, it's going to be a bad season.
Yeah, they're going to miss the playoffs, I think, regardless.
Yeah.
But if Brissett can at least get you to 2-4.
And that's the thing is, he did that with Indy.
Yeah.
He brought you. I think Phillip Rivers got hurt at the time, and he came in and won 2 out of 5 games or 2 out of 4 games.
Yeah.
So, Brissett's not a bum.
Yeah.
He's
especially if you play through the run game.
Yeah.
He can
let him pass the ball 25 times a game. You'll be successful.
Now they added trade with the Cowboys. They add Amari Cooper. What do you think about? They lose Jarvis Landry and Rashard Higgins, but you bring in Amari Cooper. What are your thoughts on Amari Cooper?
Big time.
Yeah,
I like Amari Cooper. Honestly, I think this is more of a gain for Cleveland and a very bad loss for the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, big loss for the Cowboys. We'll see how much. I want to look at Cooper's stats. I mean, he's still the man. 68 catches last year. He's going to be wide receiver 1. I mean, who else do they have in Cleveland? I mean, so you got Donovan Peoples-Jones, David Bell, Javon Wims. Their receiving core is kind of lacking.
But you just mentioned that. Do not sleep on David Bell.
Yeah.
I love David Bell out of Purdue. That kid can ball.
Yeah, with given the opportunity, he should light it up.
And so can Donovan Peoples-Jones at times.
Yeah.
You can use him as not only a receiver, but play that hybrid athlete position.
I'll give you Peoples-Jones, Amari Cooper, David Bell. And we got to see it out of David Bell, because he's a rookie. Yeah. But after that, there isn't much. Then you're talking Javon Wims, who was on the Raiders practice squad last year. His career high is 18 catches in a season. I'm a Bears fan. We had Javon Wims. I liked his potential, but he never really... You got Anthony Schwartz and Jakeem Grant. Another guy, Jakeem Grant, who was in Chicago. There's nothing really to write home about that next tier.
Is Njoku still there?
Yeah, tight end. And then you got Harrison Bryant. 2 decent tight ends. I mean, Njoku's always, Deshaun's going to feed him. But I think they could do more at receiver. At least they took David Bell. When did they draft David Bell? Was he undrafted or?
Oh no, he shouldn't have been. If he was undrafted, that's the biggest steal ever.
Well, I don't remember seeing him in my picks. Oh no, third round out of Purdue. But yeah, I mean, you got Cooper and Peoples-Jones. David Bell gives you a good potential there.
Yes, very good.
Javon Wims isn't much of a deal. Chase Winovich comes over in a trade with the Patriots. They send Mac Wilson for Chase Winovich.
Yeah, Chase Winovich has kind of been off. I mean...
Yeah, so was Mac Wilson. So I don't think it's a head turner.
It's an even...
Yeah. Stephen Weatherly, but he only had 2.5 sacks last year. Just gives you some D-line depth. Taven Bryan and punter Corey Bojorquez. What do you think of their draft? Martin Emerson in the 3rd round, corner. Let's look at the depth chart here. So the drafts, they gave away most of their draft for Deshaun Watson. So their top picks are 3rd rounders. You're looking at Martin Emerson, Alex Wright, David Bell. Pierre Winfrey in the 4th round. I like that.
Yeah.
He's got some good upside. Martin Emerson's not bad. What do you think of Alex Wright? Do you know much about him?
I do not.
Yeah. How about 4th round kicker, Cade York?
Oh, out of LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very solid pick.
Yeah.
I like it. One that... Something here that's sticking out to me is the Browns' defense is pretty good. I think they're going to have a pretty good defense with Clowney and Garrett and Greg Newsome. He hasn't had a chance to show up on the scene yet.
Yep.
Greedy Williams,
Grant Delpit, Denzel Ward.
They're going to have a good defense.
John Johnson, Owosu Koromoa, Clowney's back.
Yeah, that's what's going to hold them up right there. That defense has potential.
Yeah. So, like I said, and like you said, run the ball, play defense. That should be able to keep you afloat until Watson gets in there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at their losses, though. I mean, so Baker Mayfield's gone. So the whole situation around Baker Mayfield in Cleveland was interesting to me because he takes them so close to the AFC Championship game 2 years ago, beats the Steelers in the playoffs, and then has a down year. Tore his labrum and his throwing shoulder, and now the team just decides to move on from him. Do you think that was a good decision to move on from him, or would you have kept Baker Mayfield? I mean, if you can get Deshaun Watson, obviously that's an upgrade.
That's the thing is, if you can get...
I think I would have kept Baker if they couldn't get Deshaun, but...
Yeah, see, I agree, and they didn't treat Baker right.
No.
I don't like how he exited, like, you know...
And Browns fans are going to tell you, well, Baker kind of turned on the fans a little bit. Sure, but he was a competitor. He left it all out on the field. You can't second-guess that.
And that's the problem, like... Some of these fans don't understand. They don't have to deal with the injuries that these guys deal with and still go out there and play.
And then the national media talking shit about you.
Yeah. You know, Baker had a target, I think, ever since he got into the league because of the way he acted at Oklahoma.
Yeah, and Colin was busting him out right off the bat.
You know, his crotch grab, people didn't like that. You know, against Kansas.
Planting the flag.
Yeah,
like
all that stuff.
Well, we'll see how he does in Carolina. It's a fresh start. He's got weapons over there. Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore.
An offensive-minded head coach.
Christian McCaffrey. So, the Browns did have to eat $10.5 million of his salary to move him. That wasn't good on their part, is holding on to Baker long enough to where you couldn't get any trade value back. You know? That wasn't a good... They should have moved him. If they had any foresight, they should have moved him earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know? By the time they got rid of him,
they could have got some even pretty bigger pieces from the Seattle. Seattle could have gave him some decent pieces. I mean,
Seattle didn't want to apparently, but good luck with Drew Lock and Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Case Keenum gone to the Bills. Nick Mullins gone to the Raiders. Jarvis Landry now in the Saints goes back home.
I like that.
That's a good fit. Kind of a big loss for Cleveland there. We'll see. Who do you think's better right now, Jarvis Landry or Amari Cooper?
Ooh.
It's a tough one.
It is. More production-wise, give me Amari Cooper.
Yeah. But they had a good thing when it was Jarvis and OBJ.
Oh, yeah.
Rashard Higgins to Carolina, so Rashard Higgins reunites with Baker. in Carolina. Austin Hooper's gone to
That's
the Titans.
A big loss.
That's a big loss, but you do have Njoku, and then Harrison Bryant is kind of up and coming.
Yeah.
Big body tight end. J.C. Treader is a free agent. Takk McKinley, free agent. Malik Jackson, free agent. Mac Wilson to the Patriots. M.J. Stewart to the Texans. Chase McLaughlin, free agent. Dustin Colquitt, free agent. I like Cade York. He's an upgrade at the kicker position.
Yeah, I agree. He was actually a very, very good kicker. If I remember, wasn't he in one of the finals for the Lou Groza as a field goal kicker?
Probably. He was a damn good kicker at LSU. He was reliable. So you bring him back the same coaching staff. Tell you what, I'm excited to see what Kevin Stefanski in that offense does with Deshaun Watson. I think that's a really good fit because Deshaun Watson did a lot of good work with Bill O'Brien in Houston.
Yeah.
And Stefanski's a pretty damn good offensive coach.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot's going to change offensive-wise, but then it's not. To me, you have a more athletic quarterback.
And Watson's never had a backfield with Hunt and Chubb.
Yes.
You know, so that's really going to open it up.
Baker can move, but not like
Deshaun. Yeah.
I mean, you can run a lot of RPOs, and that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
When you have somebody the caliber of Deshaun Watson.
And then you got Peoples-Jones and David Bell who can do, like, reverses and stuff like that. So a lot of gimmicky stuff they can do there. Last year they finished third place in the North, go 8-9. Looking to get back to the playoffs, I don't know. I think that's kind of a long shot with the suspension. I think they're likely fighting between third and fourth. Here's a question, though. Looking at the AFC North, in that division, who's going to finish last?
You're not going to like this.
Well, tell me.
Pittsburgh.
I disagree. Tell me why you think that.
Why? I mean, I think Trubisky's going to have a big year, but they take a step back.
You know who I think is going to have a monster year? I've been singing his praises ever since he was drafted. Might be. Can't say that for sure, but look out for Najee Harris.
Yeah.
And then that defense in Pittsburgh is going to be better, too.
Yeah, I mean, they lost some weapons, though.
I still like what they got going on. But maybe it will be between the Browns and Steelers. Do you think the Bengals take a step back?
I think the Bengals win that division.
I don't. I don't think they repeat. I just don't see it. I think, yeah.
I think there's, if Lamar doesn't get a deal, that's going to be on his head a lot. And he's going to wonder, like, well, when am I going to get my deal and all this kind of stuff. That's why I think, and plus, you have another year of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Man, that's deadly.
So looking at the schedule, I think they eat their own. I mean, as of right now, I have, I have the Bengals like around 500. Like I don't have them being. I think the Bengals' ceiling is like 10-7. I just think it's a division that's gonna eat each other up. I think the Browns, if they get Watson back, can steal one from Cincy. I think the Steelers can. I think so. You're talking 3 losses at least in division. I mean, I don't know. I just think.
Well, I mean,
I think the Ravens are gonna be better. You're talking getting J.K. Dobbins, Gus
Edwards.
Who's he gonna throw to? He's still got guys. You got Rashad Bateman. You got guys coming up.
Yeah, but his
Mark
main
Andrews.
target, Hollywood Brown, is a big loss.
It is.
That's a lot of production that just left the team.
So, I mean, honestly, though, despite the Bengals going to the Super Bowl last year, I see this division as being wide open. Like, I think the Steelers, the Ravens, or the Bengals, all 3 could easily win the division.
So, am I reaching too far if I said Joe Burrow's the best quarterback in that division?
Well, we need to see Deshaun Watson because we haven't seen him since 2020. And Lamar Jackson, Ravens fans are not going to like that. Yeah. He's a former MVP, you know.
Sorry, Pablo.
They want to see the Ravens back contending in the AFC. So let's say the Ravens are contending this year. You don't think they are because they lost Hollywood Brown? Are they contenders without Hollywood? That's the thing. So it's a wide open division, though, don't you think?
Oh yeah, and it's gonna be fun to watch.
Because I get the feeling you have Cincy up here and the rest of the division fighting.
It's not a big gap, no.
Yeah.
No, it's going to come down to Baltimore and Cincinnati.
And that's the thing is I don't have Cincy up here. I have them in the mix, everyone fighting. I don't think Cincy runs away with nothing. I think the best, it's going to be a black and blue division because they're beating each other up.
I was high on the Ravens, but I lost a lot of respect for John Harbaugh after last season.
What a lot of people told me is, look, he had Lamar Jackson out. It was kind of like, I got nothing to lose, so let's just be ultra aggressive.
But you were in every game,
That's the thing. They lost 6 in a row. So
I don't know. By like 7 points or less.
Yeah. And some coaching decisions cost you. So we'll see. And you can make an argument. Kevin Stefanski, he's a damn good coach in my opinion. I don't usually say that, but I liked what he got out of Kirk Cousins. He got the most out of Baker Mayfield. And then now he's got Deshaun Watson. So.
Now, hear me out here. So, back to the Ravens for a minute. If they can't establish a run game, and I'm not saying that they won't because J.K. Dobbins is good, but if teams can shut down their run game, the Ravens are in trouble.
Yeah, but they're not going to be able to. The Ravens are going to be able to run the ball. It's can they pass effectively, and they lose Hollywood Brown, so other guys have to step up. Mark Andrews is going to be a go-to.
Oh, yeah. Mark Andrews is
he might catch 150 balls next year.
Top 4 tight end
this year
in the league right now.
Yeah. So I think a big question for Baltimore is how improved is their defense going to be. So I like Cleveland, honestly. Like, the only concern area I see on this roster, to me, is at receiver. And David Bell is an excellent addition. You got Amari Cooper. It's just the back end concerns me. So if a Cooper goes down or something like that, then you're in trouble.
Depth.
Yeah, lack of depth.
Well, I mean, that's why there's some free agents left. Go out there and sign somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he would, but would Odell, with Watson at quarterback, come back to Cleveland?
And that's the thing, is that's not a thing that no one's talking about. Watson is going to bring weapons to Cleveland. They're going to want to play with Watson. And so 2022 might not be the best year for the Browns. They might go 7-10, 8-9. 2023, the arrow's going to be pointing straight up.
Oh, yeah,
Cleveland.
Free agents and all that stuff, yep.
And no more suspension looming. You can talk football and, So, Browns fans, it's going to be, I think, a tough division, a tough year. I don't think you're going to make the playoffs. But what's your prediction for wins? What would you say?
Between the 7 and 8 range.
Yeah, I think so too. I think their ceiling is 9 wins, 9 and 8, and I don't think that's enough to get into the playoffs.
Now, if Jacoby surprises us and steals 3 games, give me 9 wins.
Yeah, but 9 wins, but I still don't think it's playoffs, and it'll be a good year. This year doesn't really matter. It's about taking steps towards next year. Mm-hmm. So, but I can't wait for the season. Browns fans got to be happy. I mean, it's good to get the news out to know exactly how many games Watson's out. And now you can start game planning around Brissett. And once you get Deshaun back, then...
And, I mean, Browns fans should also be happy knowing that if things go right, they have their quarterback of the future. They have their franchise guy.
Yeah, they do. And say what you want about Watson off the field. On the field, you can't question his talent.
No, absolutely not.
He took a pretty bad Texans team deep into the playoffs. Uh-huh. There's a lot of holes on that roster. And so now in Cleveland, it's a much better roster compared to Houston. So you give Deshaun a full year and look out. You know, they're contending in the division, and who knows, maybe the conference. So, I can't wait. I agree with you. I'm gonna say 7 to 8, 7 to 9 wins. But hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll keep these episodes coming out. Good shit, Dustin.
Yeah, thank you.
And peace out.